As y'all can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about how to turn your free content into paydays. This is probably the comment I hear the most. If I just tell them everything, if I give away everything, how do I know they're still going to buy from me? You're kind of scared, right? Like, how much can I give away for free without feeling like I'm giving away everything? Y'all know I'm so big on value and actionable strategies that people can take away from the moment they watch something that I put out, right? Me being afraid that someone isn't going to like buy from me has never been a fear of mine, because for one, I want everyone to win. I don't care if you never buy anything from me, period. My goal is to help you. So if I help you in the free content and you go off and be beautiful and be great, that's a job well done for me. So that's the first thing, is you have to create levels of depth, and your free content genuinely should not be more valuable as your paid content anyway. It should be valuable. It should be good information, but don't give everything away. So some things need to be behind a paywall. Again, I'm going to help you figure out what exactly does that look like. The second mistake is not creating offers. If you don't have an offer and you're putting out all this free content, people won't buy because there's nothing for them to buy. Genuinely make sure you not only have an offer, but you have variety and you have different price tiers. Not everyone is struggling, but also not everyone has $5,000 to spend with you. And so when you create a variety of products and also different price tiers, that's how you hit people where they are. So if someone can afford a $25 product, but maybe they can't afford the $500 product, or someone want a little bit more depth, so they buy that $500 product and they don't want that $25 product. They're past that stage. You have to have a plan for when you're doing all this free content and giving away all these free gems and all this free information to send someone to the next step. So you're teaching, giving this all away. What do they do now? If you have a good heart and you genuinely just want to help people, selling things may be unnatural at first. I get it. But at the same time, your time is money. Your time is valuable. Your expertise is valuable. The knowledge that you possess is valuable. What I mean by depth is, like I just told y'all, I have this private webinar. This is not a free webinar. This is a paid webinar. This is scaling digital products. This is all about 6 and 7 figure funnels, really 7 figure. This right now, this stream is a free masterclass, basically everything I'm about to tell y'all. So it's like you can do both. This is a prime example of doing, okay? Because I know that this webinar is for people that's a little bit more advanced with digital products. I'm like, I could still show up for my audience who isn't, who doesn't have the knowledge, who doesn't have digital products yet, who are still in their beginner stages. So absolutely, you can do both. You won't struggle anymore, okay? You won't struggle anymore. I'm about to give y'all literally the formula that I live by to this day. I think I came up with this in 2020. I came across this quote, and then from this quote, I built a flow chart to understand what should be what. If you are struggling with trying to figure out this should be free, this should be paid, and then also how much to charge, right? How much time will this take someone to get through? These are 2 quotes I want y'all to genuinely ingrain in your brain. The first quote: to teach, step 2, sell, step 1. What does that mean? Well, that means, for one, you have to be an expert. And for 2, when you're trying to gauge what do I sell, you have to sell the thing that teaches them how to do the thing you talk about for free. So for those of you, let's take Maximize Money, for example. Maximize Money helps, beginners with the stock market. The stock market is a very complex subject matter to learn. If you were to separate the things you absolutely need to know how to do and how to understand, we're going to put that in a step 1 category. Step 2 would be the thing that we can talk about this, but before you even get here, there's prerequisites you have to go through. So maybe this looks like step 1 being setting up your account, right? Setting up your brokerage account, understanding how to read a chart, how to read the charts. You can't really do nothing without understanding that part of investment in the stock market. So that's a step 1. So I would focus on, especially because it's beginner friendly, the products that are monetizable, that are sellable, are all the very basic things. So then your step 2, your content is going to be what happens after you understand how to read the charts. What happens after you set up your account? That's what the content is about. This is why. Because people are going to be a little bit confused. They're going to be like, well, how do I do this? How do I set up my account? oh, I have a beginner's webinar you can go grab that covers this. Yeah, and it's an easy sell. Because a few things is YouTube hits multi steps of your funnel. So you're attracting new people in that's top of funnel. So people that's interested in investing in the stock market, they're going to come across your videos and they're going to click on them because that's what they want to learn how to do. But it's also middle of funnel because you're now establishing your authority, establishing your expertise, and you're making them trust you throughout your videos. But because you are teaching step 2, that's where the bottom of the funnel hit them because they need to learn step 1 first. So that is the first quote. Now, the second quote is the one I've been living by since 2020. Listen to me. This quote has made me a lot of money, a lot of big bank. And that is, your free is the what and the why. Your paid is the how. I'm going to do some free content. I'm going to tell you different ways you could. This is the what. Make money doing XYZ. I'll tell you why you should do this, why it's easy, why. And honestly, a lot of my free content is also how. But if you put these 2 quotes into combination with each other, even if I teach the how in a free stream, a free webinar, a free class, it's still going to be step 2. Please don't let that go over your head because this is genuinely such things I see people mess up with every single day when they're trying to sell digital products and doing it by providing all this value, but their content is not converting. People are not buying from you, even though you're pouring out everything you know. You are not creating a buying culture for people. If you're giving everything away, they have no reason to buy. But now, how do I identify what should be what? How do I know if this should be an ebook, or if this should be a guide, or if this should be a webinar, or if this should be a course? This is something I came up with myself for me. And this has worked for me. This has worked with my clients that I've worked with personally who sell digital products. And it is to make a timeline, write out everything that you know, everything you could teach someone. And I want you to number that thing 1 through 10. The less the number is, the easier it is for someone to learn this thing. Okay, so there's a few things you need to take into consideration. You need to take into consideration how long it'll take someone to learn it and how long will it take for them to see results. So let's say, for example, you could teach this thing in like 2 hours. If I could break this down for you in 2 hours. It's very easy. It's a very quick turnaround for you to see results from this thing. We're going to give that maybe a 1 or a 2. Anything that is a 1 through a 3 can be a written product. So that's going to be your checklist. That's going to be your guides. That's going to be your templates. You know, that's going to be your swipe files. 1 through a 3 is something you can just deliver and people get right away. Like they get right away. They learn it right away. There's not much depth needed. Anything that is a 4 through a 7, that may require a little bit more time to explain. It may require a little bit more commitment for them to see the results of the thing you're teaching. So that may need a little bit more explanation. So those are going to be your webinars. You know, those are going to be your series, your teaching series, because it requires explanation. Having it just being written out may not be enough for people to actually retain the information. Now, talked about the product tiers and having low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. This is also how you identify what should be low ticket. Anything through a 1 through a 3, that's your low ticket offers, right? Anything through that 4 through the 7, it's like more mid ticket. It's more time from you to create it, and also a higher time commitment from your customer to do the thing. 8 through 10. That's high ticket. Those are those VIP days. Those are those courses, right? That's that one-on-one. Unfortunately, too many of y'all are doing things and giving that 8 through 10 for that low ticket, mid ticket price point. And we don't want to do that. You have to understand why you're doing the things you're doing and how to structure the products you're selling accordingly. So this is going to do a few things. For one, you're going to turn your time into a true asset, because you're not feeling like you're giving with all this free content and you're not reaping the benefits. You're not seeing the numbers in your accounts. And it's also how you're going to be able to work with different people, make more money, and meet people where they are. So let's talk about how to make going live a part of your sales funnel. I want to give y'all a few things on how to monetize your live stream. For one, you always want to go in with a plan. I won't say always, because not every live stream needs to be like a bottom of the funnel video. So you don't have to convert and try to make money from every live stream. I'm not saying that. So let me take that back. But for the ones you do want to make money from, you have to go with a plan. So there's a few different ways you can do this, no matter how big your audience is. Even if you have 1,000 followers, 100 followers, it doesn't matter. You can monetize a live stream. Consider throwing this into your sales strategy. The first thing is free to pay. A lot of people don't do this, and I learned this tip from my old mentor who passed away back in 2018, 2019. She put me onto this. It is basically you're doing a live stream that's free. So this could be like a class, and for a lot of people, that's like a live, like today. Take this stream today. This is basically a free masterclass on how to turn your free educational content into paydays. If I wanted to, I could show up live, do this for free, talk with y'all, which for a lot of people, like I was going to say, is a lot more easier to show up and just be natural, be yourself. Free live to paid would be, this is free because it's live. The replay would be for sale. And that is a whole strategy, because the way you could set this up is genuinely letting your audience know a date, a time, a topic, showing up, having your outline, structure what you want to talk about, what you want to teach. And it doesn't have to be deep. Like I just gave you out a whole play on how to structure and figure out what to do with what, right? What information should be structured as what. I've done this so many times, not individual ones, but I'm going to get into what I've done next. But this is a live stream strategy in order to monetize your live streams outside of promoting a product in your live stream. This is basically turning your live stream into the product itself. And especially if you are selling digital products, that is the purpose of digital products, is because you're not tied down to inventory, low profit margins, the process of, constantly having to restock. If you are selling digital products, you should be making sales every single day. If you are an expert, you should be selling your knowledge, not selling your knowledge, selling access to your knowledge. If you are posting all this free educational content, you should be getting a 100-time return on it. And genuinely, y'all, you just have to do it. I think so many people get into their heads and they see other people being successful at something, so they're scared to start from zero. They're scared to start as a beginner. But genuinely, everybody starts as a beginner. Just have a bit more discipline and just do it. What is the worst thing that could happen? You're going to make some money.